This point. Oh, that's a poor back pass. That's Jackson. That's Madueke. That's one.
What if the thrill of the game was no longer just about the score? What if every pass, every shot, every moment in the game held the weight of something far greater? What if the real stakes were your financial future? Sports betting. Once a niche, underground activity. Today, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry growing at an unprecedented rate, driven by technology, advertising, and the irresistible allure of easy wins. But what's the true cost of this explosion? How did something so thrilling become so dangerous? Is this modern-day entertainment or a ticking time bomb waiting to implode? How many lives are being disrupted in the pursuit of a single bet? Can the industry keep up with the growing risks? Or is it too late? In this episode, we'll take you inside the world of sports betting, exploring the impact, the addiction, and the future of an epidemic that's sweeping the globe. Are you ready to find out what's really at stake? It began as a casual pastime, a wager between friends, a prediction for fun. But over the decades, sports betting has evolved into something far larger, far more pervasive, and far more dangerous. Sports betting is as old as sports themselves. From the first recorded horse races in ancient Rome to the smoky backrooms of the 20th century, placing a wager on the outcome of a game was a form of entertainment, camaraderie, and, for some, a vice. But everything changed with the advent of the internet. What was once a limited activity, confined by geography and access, became global, instantaneous, and dangerously convenient. The internet broke barriers, but smartphones removed them entirely. Now, betting isn't limited to a casino or even a computer. It's in your pocket, accessible at any moment. Apps designed with the precision of Silicon Valley offer a seamless experience, blending gamification and user-friendly interfaces. A few taps, and anyone, anywhere can place a bet on anything, from the winner of a game to the number of fouls in a quarter. The tipping point came in 2018, when the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a decades-old federal ban on sports betting. In a matter of months, states began legalizing and regulating the industry, ushering in a gold rush for betting companies.
They have so many options. That's the beauty of legalization. 15, 20 years ago, you could come out to Las Vegas and that was really the only choice that a consumer had. When you look at today's world, everything's at the touch of their fingertips on their mobile phone or on their computer.
It's instant access. It gives someone the ability to just click with the money you have in your account. It's a pretty seamless experience.
Obviously the apps will rule the handle, but there's nothing like the social experience.
Then you put something like a gambling app on a phone, and there's no speed bumps or guardrails, there's nothing to slow them down. It's a perfect storm.
Overnight, billions of dollars poured into advertising, partnerships with sports leagues, and campaigns to normalize betting as just another way to enjoy the game. But this legalization wave wasn't limited to the United States. Globally, nations began embracing online sports betting as a lucrative revenue source. For governments, it meant taxes. For companies, it meant profit. For individuals, it often meant something far less glamorous. And while it seems like a win for all involved, beneath the surface, cracks began to form. Because with every app downloaded, every game wagered, the line between entertainment and addiction grew thinner.
With gambling, the exact opposite is happening. Gambling is being delivered with artificial intelligence at light speed on every device. And the result has become, make no mistake, a public health crisis, the full magnitude and scope of which we are just beginning to recognize.
For millions of fans, sports have always been emotional, moments of triumph, heartbreak, and everything in between. But for those who wager on the outcome, the stakes are far higher. What was once a spectator experience becomes a deeply personal gamble. Sports betting adds a layer of intensity that goes beyond team loyalty. Now, every point, every foul, every second on the clock has a financial consequence. Winning isn't just about the team anymore, it's about you. This emotional investment hooks people, creating a cycle of adrenaline and anticipation. The highs are euphoric, but the lows can be devastating. And that's exactly how the system is designed to work.
They was too good, for sure.
How did you get good? Was it natural, or do you just study the analytics intensely?
Honestly, I really don't do too many analytics studying. I just put it like this: when it's all you look at, all you do all day. Like, I don't watch movies, I don't watch TV shows, I don't watch Power, none of that. And it's just like when you just 100% focus on what you do, you have to get good at it. It's just like if you're 100% focused on eating right and working out, you no way you don't have a six pack. You know, it's just naturally you just get better at it. When I first started, I wasn't as good as I am now. But now it's like I can wake up. Literally take me 5-10 minutes. I can look at the lines and I know what game I'm a slam for that day.
Wow.
It feels like skill, doesn't it? Analyzing player stats, predicting game strategies, studying trends. It all gives the illusion that you're in control of the outcome, that you have the power to beat the odds. But the truth? The house always wins. Sports betting companies are built on algorithms and probabilities that tilt the advantage in their favor. The illusion of skill keeps you playing, even as you lose. And when you win, it's just enough to pull you deeper into the game.
Talk to me.
It sounds simpler than it actually is, but it works. It's fading the public. Say the Lakers are playing the Nets. Lakers are generally a public team. They're supposed to be a 7-point favorite. The sportsbook knows that everyone's going to bet on them. So instead of them being a 7-point favorite, they make them a 9-point favorite. What does that mean now? The Nets are going to be +9. So you go and fire Nets +9 instead of +7, and you're going to make money long term that way.
So you think if I just found whatever the public's betting on and just bet the exact opposite long term, I'd be profitable?
100%. That's the only way to win in sports.
How do you feel about like betting systems and all that?
It's all crap. That's
all crap?
Okay, bullshit.
Not one.
The truth is the sportsbook doesn't care on who wins or who loses. They just want to make sure they have 100 here and 100 here, and they keep their free 10%. Yeah. So they do it to average of the public. So if you just bet opposite of public, you're long-term going to win.
Sports betting thrives on repetition. Matches happen daily, sometimes hourly, and the platforms are designed to make placing bets quick and easy. Each win triggers a dopamine rush, reinforcing the habit and creating a sense of reward. Even small wins are amplified, fueling the belief that bigger victories are just around the corner. And when the losses come, the solution offered by these platforms is always the same: place another bet. This cycle of instant gratification and frequent engagement transforms casual betting into compulsion. For some, it becomes impossible to stop. And for the industry, that's the goal.
Gamblers, it can be a vicious cycle.
If you're a citizen that shows the likelihood of chasing your losses, which is the #1 indicator of somebody who's an addicted gambler, like you chase your losses, you as a gambling operator, like that should be an immediate check, like, hey, we need to stop this. This is a person we shouldn't be marketing to.
Gundogan lifted into the path here of Nunez. Sanchez came and Guardiola scored!
Sports betting has not just infiltrated the games. It has become part of the game itself. From the jerseys players wear to the ads running during halftime, the lines between sports and betting are no longer blurred. They've merged completely.
How has it changed the way that people bet on sports?
What's amazing now is that all the activity is not on the outcome of the game, right? It's all the prop bets of how many yards are going to be thrown. What's the temperature going to be in the Kansas City-Miami game?
Once upon a time, sports and gambling occupied separate arenas. But now, they're intertwined. Major leagues and teams have partnered with betting companies, turning gambling into a billion-dollar cornerstone of modern sports. These partnerships provide enormous financial boosts to teams and leagues, funding everything from player salaries to stadium upgrades. In return, betting companies gain unprecedented visibility, embedding themselves into the DNA of the sports experience. Advertising is everywhere. On your screens, in your apps, on social media. Sports betting companies don't just market their platforms, they normalize gambling as an integral part of being a fan. Every game is an opportunity. Every score is a chance to win big. These ads are targeted with precision, ensuring that no demographic, young or old, casual fan or die-hard enthusiast, is left untouched. As the betting industry's reach expands, so does its power to reshape what it means to enjoy sports. The faces of sports betting aren't just anonymous brands. They're the athletes we cheer for, the influencers we follow, and the celebrities we admire. These figures lend credibility and appeal to gambling, making it seem not just acceptable, but glamorous. For young fans, seeing their idols promote betting creates a powerful message. This is part of being a sports fan, but behind every smiling celebrity endorsement lies an uncomfortable truth. The industry's reliance on familiar faces is less about entertainment and more about capturing the trust of vulnerable audiences. And with every click, every wager, the industry grows stronger, its influence spreading deeper into the culture of sports.
Sports in general have always been part of the American culture and the American fabric. The pre-game show in the World Series is sponsored by a gambling company. It is filled with gambling ads. It is filled with talks of overs and unders. You can't sit down and watch a sporting event with your 9-year-old child without being inundated with gambling ads.
Sports betting is often marketed as harmless entertainment, a way to enhance the thrill of the game. But behind the glitz and glamour lies a darker reality, a reality of debt, broken relationships, and societal decay.
Scientific fact. In 2013, the American Psychiatric Association recognized that gambling is an addictive product and gambling disorder is an addiction categorized on the same level as heroin, opioids, tobacco, alcohol, and cocaine. In 2017, the World Health Organization made the exact same recognition in the International Classification of Diseases, and the World Health Organization has called for gambling to be treated as an international issue of public health. Sadly, within the last year, the president of the American Gaming Association, Bill Miller, went on national television on a show that I was on with him and told the American public that the gaming industry doesn't believe that gambling is an addictive product.
For some, placing a small wager is just a game. For others, it becomes a spiral, an endless chase to recover what they've lost. As bets grow larger and losses pile up, financial stability crumbles. Credit cards maxed out, loans taken to cover mounting debts, and savings wiped clean. Entire families are left in turmoil, grappling with the consequences of one person's descent into the world of sports betting. The financial toll is just the beginning. Sports betting addiction doesn't only drain wallets, it tears apart relationships. Trust is eroded as lies and secrecy become common. Families are left fractured, friendships strained, and support systems destroyed. Meanwhile, the mental health impact is devastating. Anxiety, depression, and feelings of hopelessness plague those trapped in the cycle of betting. The constant stress of financial instability and the guilt of broken promises push many to the brink. For some, the only escape they see is placing another bet, a decision that only deepens the wounds. The consequences of sports betting addiction ripple far beyond the individual. Desperation to fund a habit often leads to fraud, thefts, and even organized crime. Families and businesses fall victim to scams perpetrated by those who feel they have no other way out. Society bears the cost. Law enforcement agencies are burdened by gambling-related crimes. Workplaces lose productivity. And public health systems grapple with the fallout of addiction. In the pursuit of profit, the industry thrives, while communities are left to pick up the pieces of shattered lives. It's no accident that online sports betting has become nearly impossible to resist. Behind every app, every wager, and every push notification lies a carefully crafted system designed to keep you engaged and spending. At the heart of the sports betting epidemic are algorithms, sophisticated systems that monitor your every move. These algorithms analyze your behavior, predict your preferences, and tailor the experience to ensure you stay hooked. The longer you spend on the app, the more bets you place. From offering personalized promotions to sending notifications at the perfect moment, these systems exploit your habits and emotions to maximize their profits. Gone are the days of waiting for the final whistle to see if you've won. Micro-betting has changed the game, allowing users to wager on hyper-specific events in real time.
Now is that all the activity is not on the outcome of the game, right? It's all the prop bets of how many yards are going to be thrown. What's the temperature going to be in the Kansas City-Miami game?
Will the next pitch be a strike? Will the next possession lead to a goal? Every moment becomes a potential bet, creating an endless stream of opportunities and risks. The rapid pace of micro-betting heightens the thrill, but it also accelerates the path to addiction.
Live streaming.
Technology has blurred the line between watching and wagering. Betting platforms now integrate seamlessly with live sports, making it effortless to place bets while watching the action unfold in real time. Apps gamify the experience with leaderboards, rewards, and instant feedback. Every match, Every play, every second offers another chance to engage. For many, this creates a loop, a constant cycle of betting, watching, and bet again. With every technological advancement, the industry tightens its grip. What was once a game of chance is now a carefully engineered cycle, one designed to keep users coming back, no matter the cost. As online sports betting tightens its grip on millions worldwide, governments scramble to respond. But regulating an industry this vast and fast-moving has proven to be one of the greatest challenges of our time. In some places, online sports betting is a booming, legalized industry, complete with strict oversight and tax benefits. In others, it exists in a legal gray area or is outright banned. The result? A global patchwork of laws that vary wildly between countries, and even within states. While some jurisdictions enforce age limits, advertising restrictions, and licensing requirements, others allow free rein. This inconsistency creates a fertile ground for exploitation and confusion, with operators and users navigating a fractured system. Even in regions with strict regulations, the borderless nature of the internet poses a major hurdle. Offshore operators run unlicensed platforms, avoiding taxes and bypassing local laws. These platforms target users through aggressive marketing, offering minimal safeguards against addiction or fraud. For regulators, tracking and shutting down these operators is a constant game of cat and mouse. With no centralized oversight and countless loopholes, enforcement remains a daunting and often losing. The question remains, does stricter regulation help, or does it drive the problem further into the shadows? Advocates of tighter laws argue that it's the only way to protect users, enforce accountability, and curb the industry's influence. Critics warn that excessive restrictions could push players to unregulated platforms, where they're exposed to even greater risks, no safeguards.
I saw Twitch make the announcement today. For those of you unfamiliar with Twitch, a lot of folks use it, for gaming and live streaming their video games. But there are a lot of content providers for sports betting on Twitch, Pat, as you know. Twitch came out today saying no unregulated gaming will be broadcast anymore on Twitch. They did go out of their way to say that sports betting would be allowed as far as content is concerned. So I don't know. I just found that interesting because I know a lot of people who are content providers with that.
No transparency, no way out. It's a precarious balance. How do you regulate an industry without feeding its darker underbelly? As governments wrestle with this question, the stakes continue to rise, and the consequences, for better or worse, will be felt by millions.
The CEO of America's leading sports betting company says it's one of the biggest challenges in the competition to win customers.
There are hundreds of illegal or unregulated operators who are taking sports bets every single day. We estimate that probably to the tune of potentially $15 billion is going through some of these offshore operators.
Sports, the ultimate test of skill, strategy, and heart. But beneath the surface of fair competition lies a growing threat: the insidious influence of illegal betting and corruption. When the stakes are high, integrity becomes the first casualty. From cricket to football, tennis to basketball, no sport has been immune to the shadow of match fixing.
A firm called U.S. Integrity notified sportsbooks of abnormal betting volume on Terry Rozier unders. Unusual, because U.S. Integrity only raised a red flag 3 times in 2 years. Twice for a player named Jonte Porter, now banned for life for a betting scandal, and once for Terry Rozier. Uh-oh, is this proof that Terry is guilty of rigging bets? Or is it just a big coincidence? Well, there's a lot more to this story when you dig in. So this all started March 2024 when the NBA announced it was investigating 2 Raptors games where Jonte Porter's prop bets were suspicious. A lot of money was bet on the unders, and it turned out Jonte pulled himself early from both games. It was as if some shady bettors knew something beforehand. Well, they eventually made arrests, and Jonte pled guilty to betting on himself and giving others information to clear his debt.
High-profile scandals have exposed how illegal betting syndicates manipulate outcomes, turning games into rigged spectacles for profit. These operations span continents, involving organized crime, vast networks of gamblers, and insiders willing to betray the sport for a payout. For fans, Every scandal erodes the trust and purity that makes sports so beloved. When money talks, even the most principled can falter. For struggling players, lucrative offers from betting syndicates can be hard to resist. For officials, a single bribe can secure a lifestyle otherwise unattainable. But the corruption doesn't stop there.
In 2007, the NBA was rocked to its core. When the news hit that referee Tim Donaghy had admitted that he had illegally bet on games he himself had officiated. For his crimes, Donaghy would spend 15 months in federal prison.
Entire organizations have been implicated, with officials turning a blind eye or even orchestrating schemes themselves. The ripple effect damages not just the sport, but the communities and fans who invest their hearts and money into the game.
The Lakers had sent in a CD of 25 plays that they felt calls were missed when Kobe Bryant went to the basket. And I understood from the NBA office that 22 of those plays were missed by the referees. And I knew that Kobe Bryant was basically going to be given the opportunity to go to the foul line if somebody as much as breathed on him.
The NBA says its instructions to refs are meant to improve officiating. But Donaghy says those directives made it easy for him to pick winners.
Because it was inside information along the lines of knowing that a certain stock was going to be bought out before the opening bell in the stock market.
Faced with this growing crisis, sports organizations are fighting back. From advanced algorithms that detect unusual betting patterns to partnerships with law enforcement, new tools are being deployed to safeguard integrity. Players are being educated, referees scrutinized, and whistleblowers protected. Leagues are implementing stricter regulations, ensuring transparency and accountability at every level. While the fight is far from over, these efforts signal a commitment to preserving what matters most: the sanctity of the game. For those who've fallen into the grip of sports betting addiction, the journey toward recovery can feel like an endless battle. But it doesn't have to be. There is help, and there are tools that can change the course of lives consumed by this addiction.
I have introduced a measure called the GRID Act. The GRID Act would very simply provide a stream of funding to fight gambling addiction, to make treatment.
State regulation has been an abysmal failure, and what the Safe Bet Act is designed to do is to set minimum federal standards. And what we need to do is talk about why that is so important. And the people listening to this need to understand what these words responsible gaming really mean. Responsible gaming is industry language for let us self-regulate. Put the onus on the individual to ask for help, and then we'll pay for their treatment. It's the moral equivalent of big tobacco saying, let us do whatever we want with our product as long as we pay for chemotherapy and hospice on the back end.
Today, there's no shortage of resources for those who want to take the first step toward recovery. From confidential helplines to professional therapy sessions, the tools to fight addiction are more accessible than ever. Support groups, both in person and online, allow individuals to connect with others facing the same struggles. These safe spaces provide not only guidance, but a sense of solidarity in the fight against an overwhelming urge to bet. And then, there are self-assessment tools, online questionnaires, and apps designed to help individuals recognize the signs of addiction before it spirals out of control. The path to recovery begins with acknowledgement, and these tools provide that vital first step. But recovery is not just about individual effort. Raising awareness is key.
Gambling is not the problem. The problem is how government is presently permitting gambling to be distributed and marketed and promoted.
And so we believe firmly that there is a strong need for regulation, for Congress to get involved. And the hope is that just as we did with tobacco litigation.
Across the globe, communities are banding together to educate the public about the dangers of sports betting addiction. Schools, workplaces, and social media platforms have become vital points for outreach, teaching individuals about the risks and the resources available. Campaigns run by nonprofit organizations and governments highlight the importance of responsible betting, aiming to reach individuals before they fall into the trap. Communities are building support networks that go beyond the virtual. From local recovery groups to peer mentorship programs, The message is clear. You are not alone. Financial literacy is another powerful tool in the fight against addiction. Understanding the economic implications of betting, how quickly debts accumulate, how easily savings are wiped out, can help individuals make better, more informed decisions. Self-regulation tools integrated into many betting apps give users control over their own behaviors. These tools allow individuals to set betting limits, track their spending, and even lock their accounts for periods of time. It's a simple yet effective way to regain control and prevent impulsive decisions from taking root.
Why was it important for you to endorse FanDuel, particularly at a time where there's a lot of concern about the growing epidemic of problem gambling with young men, the kind of young men who look up to you?
Yes, well, FanDuel is the #1 leading sports book in America, and I'm a championship guy. I love winning championships, so I love being with the #1 team outside off the field as well. And on top of it, FanDuel does a great job with responsible gambling. They're always representing, bet responsibly. Don't go out there, bet your paycheck, on a weekly basis. Go out there and just make the game more intriguing with a safe bet.
I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
But while these tools are essential, the real key lies in a mindset shift. The realization that recovery is not just about stopping the behavior, but changing the relationship to gambling itself. When technology empowers individuals to take control of their habits, the journey from addiction to recovery becomes not only possible, but inevitable. For those trapped in the cycle of addiction, recovery is a long road. But with the right tools, the right support, and a willingness to change, the end of that road can bring a new beginning, a life beyond the addiction. As the digital landscape continues to evolve, so too does the world of sports betting. The technology that powers these platforms is growing ever more sophisticated, leading us into a new frontier where the lines between reality and virtuality. Artificial intelligence and data analytics are revolutionizing the sports betting industry. Once a game of chance, betting has now become a high-tech battle of numbers, where algorithms predict the odds with eerie precision. Every play, every stat, every minute detail is being calculated, and AI is at the center of it all. These machines not only personalize the experience, but also predict behavior, anticipating what you'll bet on next. In essence, they know you better than you know yourself, and that makes the stakes higher than ever. But AI and data analytics are just the beginning. The next frontier? The metaverse and virtual reality. Picture this, a fully immersive betting experience where you don't just watch the game, you live it. In this brave new world, you place bets in virtual stadiums, engage with other bettors in real time, and even watch games from the perspective of the players themselves. The opportunities are immense. For bettors, it offers a new level of engagement, taking the thrill of the game to unprecedented heights. But so too do the risks. The boundaries between real and virtual blur, leading to concerns over addiction, financial ruin, and the loss of control. With this new technology, the stakes are about to get even higher. As technology advances, so too does the responsibility that comes with it. How do we embrace innovation without losing control? The industry is at a crossroads, balancing the immense potential of new technologies with the need to protect vulnerable individuals from the dangers of addiction and financial collapse. Regulators are scrambling to keep pace with the rapid evolution of these platforms. New tools are being developed, AI-based protections, real-time self-exclusion options, and even VR-based interventions designed to help users avoid the traps of compulsive betting. But will it be enough? Or will the constant push for profit overshadow the need for responsible practices? The future of online sports betting is unfolding before us. It promises new thrills, new experiences, and new challenges. But as the industry advances, one question remains. Can we ensure that, in the race for innovation, we don't lose sight of the most important game of all, the one for integrity, safety, and responsibility?